Hey guys, you might notice that this is not my usual vlog setup. Well, I don't really have a usual vlog setup because I've only done one vlog so far. But I'm kind of still in my filming setup today. I even have some makeup on. Basically, I filmed a couple of videos and then I couldn't find the spare batteries because my husband and I took them somewhere. He filmed a video at our studio earlier in the week, so yeah, now I don't know where anything is, and I figure I'll stop at 2 videos, and I should really start this vlog for the Dragon Reborn, which is upside down and backwards. Wheel of Time, book 3, here we go. So what I did last time is I kept kind of a spoiler vlog. I'll try to keep improving my vlogging skills, but you know, this is going to be my second vlog ever. This is going to be a spoiler reaction vlog as I read my way through the Dragon Reborn. Then when I'm done, I will post this vlog and I'll also do a spoiler-free reaction video where I talk about more general things, make it a little more concise, don't repeat myself constantly, talk about things other than which character is annoying me. But if you want to hear a more in-depth take on my read of the Dragon Reborn and also hear me rant about which characters are annoying me as I read, this is the video for you. If you've been following my Wheel of Time series, you know that this is a series I have tried reading a few times, and especially when I was younger. I definitely read books 1 and 2 when I was around age 8 or 9, and then I think I got stuck towards the beginning of the Dragon Reborn, so I don't remember anything about this. We are now basically getting into fresh territory. I don't know anything about... Well, I do know something about the Wheel of Time from this point on, but I haven't read it myself, so I won't really be talking anymore about comparing what I remember in my reactions as a kid versus my reactions as a 30-year-old.
I'm afraid that's beyond my abilities.
So I don't know anything about what happens specifically in book 3. Based on the cover, if this is supposed to be Rand, it looks like maybe he gets a new magical sword that's glowing and falls from the sky, but you know, we'll find out. And I just realized I forgot to attach the external microphone to my phone, so hopefully this audio won't be too terrible. Actually, I don't even know how well the external mic worked for spoken audio last time. It's something that we originally got for recording instruments. But anyway, I'm 100 pages into the Dragon Reborn, and overall I'm actually really enjoying it so far, just like I really enjoyed the start of The Great Hunt as well. I liked the prologue in this one quite a lot, actually. I realized I completely spaced out for all of the plot in The Great Hunt that had to do with the Children of the Light. So I kind of realized, oh yeah, these guys were doing stuff in the last book, and I was not paying attention because I just wasn't interested in them. But the politics going on in the beginning of this one really interested me. And what's the guy's name? Caradin. I really liked that setup where Caradin is basically under an ultimatum from 2 different people, both from the Dark One and from his boss, to one to kill Rand and the other one to keep Rand alive, and so he seems pretty screwed no matter what. I found that pretty entertaining. He wasn't a particularly likable character, obviously, but yeah, I'm really curious to see what he's gonna do. And after the prologue, it's been all Perrin's point of view so far. Perrin is a character I've been pretty neutral on so far. I generally like wolves. I thought the wolf magic is, you know, that's cool. He didn't come across as having a really strong personality. He was just like kind of generally likable. I'm really feeling like his arc is mirroring Rand's arc in Dragon Reborn to some extent so far, because he seems really in denial about his own abilities and what's going on, and he's just struggling with a lot, and we just start to get to know him a little bit better as a character, and overall I really like that. I still don't have a super strong sense of him as a character, but I found his point of view fairly compelling. One of the more interesting things is seeing Rand from his friend's point of view. I was kind of disappointed how his friends reacted to him in The Great Hunt, in terms of didn't really feel like they were quite there for him, and it still kind of feels like Rand doesn't know how to be around his friends, and Perrin doesn't really know how to react to Rand. But I also have this feeling like this almost feels like the real start of the series, because we're starting to see Rand from the outside more, and Rand is clearly still going through a lot of stuff that we don't really know as much what it is. We know he's arguing with Moraine a lot, and Moraine also, I actually find her a very interesting character because she is sort of the wise character that is supposed to know what's going on, but she also I still, you feel like she has her own agenda, and it's an agenda generally for good, but yeah, I understand why, especially, compared to how I felt in the first book, I understand even more now why the characters are reacting to her the way they do, where like they do trust and respect her, but they also have their reservations. I find that very understandable. I'm really liking this so far. The pacing has been pretty strong. It feels like with the things that have happened in between books and just the more sweeping political or social things that are going on, people declaring for Rand, there's a lot more large scale things happening that have been set in motion. It feels pretty exciting. I definitely feel like maybe this is the book where I'm gonna get a better feeling of what the rest of the series will be like. Someone told me, I think it's not this book, maybe in book 4 there won't be so much road tripping. They're already about to set off on a journey, so we spent 100 pages in one place, and now it's time to be on the road because Rand has disappeared and we gotta go find him. So that's fun. I feel like I'm sure we'll get more points of view soon. I don't know how much longer we'll be with Perrin, but that was pretty interesting. One shtick I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of is the whole thing where Perrin or Rand or Matt has an exchange with a woman and then thinks, I really wish Matt or Perrin or Rand was here because he knows how to talk to girls. It was cute for the first book. It was still kind of cute in the second book, and now we're in book 3. I'm like, guys, just none of you are good with girls. We all know that. Let's just move on. So I'm a little behind on reading right now because I had a really busy week and I'm not feeling great right now, but also I kind of really wanted a relaxing video game, so I bought myself Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town and spent way too much time farming this week. But I'm on page 200 of the Dragon Reborn and still enjoying it. I am enjoying the arc with Egwene and Nynaeve. From the last book, I was really enjoying their arc anyway. I find the Aes Sedai stuff pretty interesting. It's gotten very politically involved, where they're supposed to be looking for the Black Aja, but they really don't know who to trust at all, which seems like generally how it goes with Aes Sedai. Even the ones that are, on the side of good seem pretty questionable. I like how Perrin's arc wrapped up where we left him, where he finally talked to Moraine about the crazy wolf thing and also saw that other guy that had completely lost his mind who seemed to have similar abilities. But I do feel like the whole thing is a little bit dragged out because after all that time of not talking to her, and then, he finally talks to somebody about what's going on with him, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, nobody really understands that. That's weird. So I still think it's an interesting arc. I'm sort of feeling like there's some things that just get developed really, really slowly in this series, and that could end up being a good thing, but I wouldn't mind. We're in book 3. We could use a little more information about some of these things that are going on. I know a lot of stuff is still going to get revealed. I know we're going to find out more stuff about Dark. Everyone keeps telling me we're going to find out more stuff about Dark Friends, so that's why I haven't mentioned Dark Friends really yet or complained about not understanding what they're doing in this vlog so far, I think. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Okay, I know I just filmed and it's only like 30 pages later, but we just had a section in Matt's point of view, and that was really, really interesting. I think that might be the first time we've had his point of view in the entire series so far, unless there was some in the previous 2 books that I'm just not remembering. And we also had Celine pop up. I wasn't really expecting to see her, so although I'm not sure how I really feel about Matt as a character, his point of view was pretty distinct, and I did get a strong sense of him. I just don't know if I like him, but he does seem, reasonably dubious about everybody, including Celine, which seems to involve some good sense. And there was also this passage I wanted to share with you guys that I put a tab in because I thought it was really interesting. I was sort of complaining, I guess, before about Perrin and Matt's reactions to Rand revealing that he was the Dragon Reborn, and then there was this part that said, Rand could channel, and Matt had grown up with stories of men channeling, stories to frighten children, stories that frightened adults too, because some of them were all too true. Discovering what Rand could do had been like finding out his best friend tortured small animals and killed babies. Once you finally made yourself believe it, it was hard to call him a friend any longer. So, I mean, I don't actually feel like Perrin is having that response the way Matt is, but we're kind of getting both of their reactions to Rand in this book, and that does explain a lot more about what Matt is going through. So, I don't know, hopefully Matt will kind of grow up a little bit in this book, and I don't know, I don't know where his character is going to go at all, but I wanted to share that. Okay, I think I figured out what's bugging me about Matt's character. It's not that I don't understand his desire to get as far away from everyone and everything as possible. I feel like if I ended up in a story like this, that would probably also be my instinct. But he just comes across as a little bit cold towards everybody. Like, I don't really get a strong sense of him caring about anyone. So I just feel a little bit weird about that, even though I kind of like his cleverness and his pragmatism. I just finished chapter 28, and it does seem like we're about to be on the road again. We've been in the same place for like a whole 150 pages, so it's time to cross the continent again, probably, I think. Seems like everyone's going to end up in Tyr. I'm definitely getting kind of a Sword in the Stone vibe off this book, and Kalendor, and honestly that's kind of cool. I like the reference if that's what is happening. I'm glad that Matt seems to have a strong survival instinct in terms of getting away from Selene. Selene is just randomly showing up to people all around Tar Valon. Is that how you say it? I should look that up. Oh well. Selene has been basically randomly popping up all over the place. She showed up to Egwene. I am not sure if I'm actually supposed to know who she is, but I basically do know who she is, but I won't say it because I think it might still be a spoiler beyond what I'm supposed to have realized at this point. But I do feel a little bit tired of the constant women versus men tropes that show up in this book. Like, women are all like this, men are all like this. I don't actually feel like all the women are the same or all the men are the same, but the way they make really gendered assumptions just seems a little forced and a little bit dated. I know it's also a pretty significant part of the world building in this world, and I do appreciate the fact that women have power and influence in Robert Jordan's world, but just the constant, you know, men thinking, well, women are pretty strange, and women thinking, well, men are pretty dumb. I mean, another 11 books of that is gonna be a lot. So we came outside to read this morning, and I have a ton of sun in my eyes and can't actually see anything, so hopefully this looks okay. And there's lots of background noise, but I got to around in the 400s yesterday in the Dragon Reborn, but I also took some allergy medicine, which I don't usually take because I was having like a weird allergic reaction thing, and that completely knocked me out. So hopefully I remember like the last 100 pages or so that I read. I know that I think basically everyone's on the road again at this point, and there seems to be a lot going on in dreams, which has kind of been a theme in all of the Wheel of Time so far, except it hasn't really been explained too much, like what's possible in dreams, what's not. There's that other world that Rand traveled to in the Great Hunt, which seems like it's all kind of connected, but yeah, I do wish a little bit more of that would get explained already. That's kind of starting to be a theme with this book, where I'm thinking like this is book 3. I think things could get a little bit more explained at this point instead of the characters always being quite so much in the dark. But yeah, I'll keep reading and hopefully I remember what I read yesterday. And 30 seconds into reading, I already moved because it was too sunny in that spot. And I also forgot to mention that Matt has some weird luck thing going on that, of course, he decided was definitely not because of the cursed dagger he was attached to for 2 books, and instead is obviously something that happened when he got healed from it. But I feel like this will probably have some consequences later on. Well, we're running away from Ilion, so, you know, it's time to run away from another city, which seems to just generally be a trend. Nobody ever gets to stay anywhere for more than 100 pages in this series. I feel like I did kind of call it as soon as they got to Ilion and everyone was saying like, oh yeah, there's this new lord who joined the council who no one ever heard of before a year ago, but he seems really powerful. I thought that's probably one of the Forsaken, and it turns out that that's what we got. So yeah, also I still feel like Perrin is having kind of a similar arc to Rand in the last book, where he spends most of the book not really wanting to embrace his powers, and that's a really loud plane. But now that it's becoming useful, he's just kind of embracing it anyway, because it feels like he doesn't really have a choice, or he's becoming more okay with it. I don't know, it seems like the trend. And I just realized that I've been filming, oh, my head should go this way, oops. And I just realized I've been filming in portrait mode instead of landscape for the entire morning, so this is gonna look really weird on the video, but oh well. Also, just for the record, I've been wondering for this entire book why Loyal is still here. Even though I really like him as a character and I think he's super endearing and adorable, he really hasn't done anything important since maybe book 1 with the ways, but I feel like there wasn't even that much in book 2 that he did other than carry some heavy stuff. And we got another loud plane. Oh yeah, that one's right overhead. Yeah, so maybe you'll find out by the end of the book why he's still kicking around, or maybe he's just still here. And now we got to Camlin, and there's this other new guy that has popped up who is now sort of influencing Queen Morghese, and everyone else seems totally enthralled by him, and he is, as Matt overheard, clearly up to no good, so I bet we found another Forsaken. We spent a lot of today over at a friend's house out in the yard, just hanging out and enjoying the weather, but I only have like maybe, I don't know, less than 100 pages left in the book, I guess. I keep forgetting the length. I feel like these are really long books, but actually this is only 600 and something pages. So yeah, I'm gonna try to finish tonight and I'll let you guys know what I think. Honestly, I'm having kind of a hard time with this book right now. On a certain level, it's exciting, and on another level, I feel like things are just taking so long to happen, and we're on book 3 and there's just still so much about what's going on that I don't fully understand, that just hasn't been revealed to us. It's kind of unsatisfying, and also at the same time I feel like I'm starting to get more of a sense of the actual scope of the series, and that's really cool. I like getting to travel to all these places and see all these different cultures, and I think the world that Robert Jordan has built is really cool. I just also feel like there are too many dreams, there's too much traveling around, and I just want to, I don't know, I want stuff to happen, and I feel like a bunch of stuff is about to happen, but I hope that I'll feel something satisfying at the end of book 3, I guess. I just feel like things are starting to drag out a little bit. All these Forsaken, at least, well, we only have one so far, but I'm pretty sure that other guy, the Gabriel or whatever his name is, that Morghese is enthralled by, is also Forsaken. I think that seems pretty cool and pretty epic, but it just seems like everything is just taking so long to happen, and so many more characters have been introduced in this book, and I know because just, you know, from being around Wheel of Time and fantasy in general, I know some of these characters are really important and important love interests that are going to be around for the rest of the series, and so it was cool to see those characters for the first time, but it's just 3 books of setup is too much, and I don't feel like enough has happened in this series yet. So I finally finished. The end was pretty exciting, just like I expected, but I also feel like it was kind of the same as the ending of the last 2 books, where Rand kind of, but not really, defeats the Dark One. On the other hand, the Forsaken are really badass, and I'm kind of really excited by them just as a whole thing. I was definitely not expecting the 3rd one, Bilal, to pop up in tier, so I really liked how we apparently have Forsaken pretty much everywhere, just occupying high society and ready to do their evil stuff at any moment. That's pretty exciting. I ended up quite liking Matt in this book, even though there's part of me that just dislikes him as a person a little bit, and the luck thing is just a little too convenient, how he was able to just show up in a city and just end up in the right place at the right time over and over and over again. But it's also kind of a cool thing that I feel like I haven't really seen anywhere else before, even though it is a little bit lucky. Also, I just want to cut this in because I've been thinking about it since I filmed a few minutes ago, and I feel like I should have reacted in the vlog to the fact that we found out that Baal Zaman, or however you say his name, was not actually the Dark One, and so that Rand actually wasn't really fighting the Dark One himself for the last 3 books, and that it was probably one of the Forsaken. And yeah, that was kind of a cool reveal. It just felt like, since we haven't really seen the Dark One, who is not a person, then I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about that. It left me more neutral than I would expect, but was still kind of cool. Perrin, I don't know. His arc didn't really conclude. I mean, I guess kind of like in the previous book, how Rand started to embrace his powers a little bit more. Perrin definitely did that in this book. The whole thing with Fail, okay, I know, I've heard what they say about Robert Jordan and romance, and it is so true. He's not very good at showing the development of a relationship between 2 characters. They went from just basically antagonizing each other for all of this book to something, but other than that, I liked that arc too. I felt like this book was really leading up to something happening to Moraine at the end, and then it didn't happen in this book, so she's fine for now, but really, it was really starting to explore that dynamic with her and with Lan, and with what's gonna happen to Lan if something happens to Moraine, all that stuff. Robert Jordan was really going heavy on that foreshadowing, I guess. It wasn't even foreshadowing. I was pretty sure that by the end of this book something would happen to her, but she seems to be alive for now. The balefire was pretty convenient, but it's just one more thing where you're like, Moraine is definitely not telling us everything. Well, she's not telling us anything. So now we have 3 whole books of Moraine withholding information, and just saying, sorry, I'll tell you when you need to know, which is probably never. Good luck. So I definitely feel like I'm starting to get more of a feel for the series. This was also the first one in the series that I hadn't really read before. Also, never found out what happened with the White Cloaks from the prologue, and with Carradine, or whatever his name was, and what he really decided to do. So I hope we find out more. It kind of bugs me that we have so much stuff that just gets set up in a book and not really resolved yet. Stuff is just really stretched out. But it's also pretty cool. Rand got the magical sword that's not a sword that you can see on the cover here with this beautiful cover art. I saw a comment, maybe it was from Sanderson, about how this cover artist was not great at doing people, and yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. But I don't know, the shadowy figure on the back is kind of cool. Anyway, I definitely feel like I lost steam on this book towards the end. I think I do need a bit of a break before I go into book 4. I don't know if I'm enjoying the series any more than I was after book 2, but I'm still generally enjoying it. I'm still generally committed to this for the long haul, and I do want to know what happens. It's just, I just feel like it takes a long time for us to get anywhere with anything, and I want to know more, and I want to have more happening, and I want to just be able to be immersed and enjoy the story. But we'll see. I'm curious where we're gonna go from here. I think someone did comment that as of book 4, they're not just constantly traveling around all the time. I want to get to know more places more in depth. I want to get to know more about things. I feel like the reveals, it's not even reveals, I feel like the stuff we're finding out about the dream world, it's just, we have like a little bit more knowledge now about what's possible or what can be done, but there's just so much we don't know. And 3 books in, I find that a little bit frustrating, I guess. But also, I often say I like being confused when I'm reading. Like, I like getting to find out stuff slowly. So in another sense, that also kind of appeals to me at the same time. I don't know, I have very conflicted feelings about this series still, but it's been a fun journey so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed getting to see my reading experience with this vlog. Vlogging is still something I'm not super comfortable with. This was kind of my spoiler vlog. I'm gonna do a non-spoiler review with my proper filming setup, probably in the next couple of days, where I'll talk more about my overall spoiler-free thoughts on the book. There are so many details and so many characters and so many things in each one of these books. I feel like every time I even film a little section for this vlog, I feel like I'm already forgetting stuff I wanted to talk about. So in that sense, yeah, it's a meaty book. There's a lot to think about. I'm overall enjoying the journey, but I'm definitely not a hardcore Wheel of Time devotee yet, if that is even going to come, but I'm still happy I'm reading it. So hopefully you're enjoying reading along with me, or enjoy seeing my thoughts if it's a series you're familiar with, or enjoyed the spoilers, I guess, which probably would mean nothing to you if you haven't read The Wheel of Time. So yeah, that's my vlog for the Dragon Reborn, and I'll see you next time for book 4.